we're back. A little bit longer of a break than intended. A little one or two issues we had to wait to iron out. But yes, that's right. We're back for more action here, guys. LGD versus Ford Gaming. Game number 2 here. Ford Gaming, of course, taking that game 1 in, I'd say, fairly convincing fashion. Right, Liz?
Yep. It was definitely convincing. I believe that draft was superior to PSG's. I think PSG they had to win their lanes, and off of that they had to kind of snowball to win that game because it was just so much harder for them to execute. Honestly, on one side we talked about this. On one side you have a Jug, he presses that Omni Slash, he kills your carry. On the other hand, you have a Luna, a hero that's I don't know. I like looking at Luna as she rides that little cat of hers across the map. Farms,
yeah.
farms. No, I like the aesthetics.
Oh, okay. You just like the farming. Got it. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. I don't scroll down and watch her as she farms all the time. I don't do that.
I mean, I don't know if I believe you now. It was innocent before until you mentioned scrolling down. But
you know what? Like if you scroll down, and you press like delete or something. That was actually transitioned from Warcraft 3. You can rotate the camera around.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just saying, not that I do that.
I see where this is going, but you won't get it this game because if you scroll down on Ford Gaming's carry, you're not going to get something necessarily appealing, unless you're into that kind of thing.
No, I'm into that.
Yeah, crazy snake ladies.
Yeah, sure.
You like something long and slippery in the bed, got it. But
crazy cat ladies, crazy snack ladies.
Snack ladies, all right.
Snack ladies. Yeah, I don't care.
All right. So this is interesting. LGD gone for the Tusk and the Lich. A little bit of Frosty combo here. A pretty brutal one as well with the Frost Shield and the tag team.
Yeah, we have all the ice on one team right now. And honestly, like, Lich wins you the safe lane so many times. Like, he's really strong in that aspect, and you can combo him with something like an AM that scales well versus Duza late game, or some PL or something like that, or Slark even. Actually, Slark is pretty legit with him, and he's pretty decent versus Undying too. PL is good versus Tomb, AM is good versus Duza. So you have many options with this Lich. It just opens up your draft so damn well, man. I love Lich. I mean, I hate him, but I love Lich.
But you have to admire his flexibility, his ridiculousness.
He is not flexible at all. Look at him. He's chained up. How can you be flexible and chained up like that? It doesn't work. But he makes your team flexible. You know, he I don't know. I really don't know what they were thinking when they were buffing him so much. I do know that Forward Gaming was thinking that PL is really good against them and they banned it. So that's good thinking.
We respect to see something like that, though. You have to get rid of these heroes that can just burn through that shield quickly. Anti-Mage may be the second ban, potentially, for Forward Gaming.
Yeah, AM or Slark, I'd say. I mean, Slark, I know it's not the fans' favorite, but it's definitely a hero that you should be worried about when there is a Lich in the composition as well. But AM is most likely going to be the one. But then again, you're leaving the Jug away. You don't have to really deal with the armor shield from Duza if you just win the lane so convincingly and you take her Raxes and Throne before she's even online. So there's that option for them. Just play the tempo game again and try to out-tempo the team that just did that to you one game ago.
Yeah, and they're definitely making sure that Sven is off the table for the side of Ford Game, and that will be the 5th ban. No surprise there. MSS had a huge impact with that hero, despite a shaky start to his lane.
Yeah, the lane wasn't great, but they rotated properly, and with that Warcry, he was just running around, making space for his team and making his team unkillable, basically. However, they lost the Lich armor because PSG stole the Lich, and they also don't have that Sven right now. So I'm wondering, yeah, do you have the Duza with that shield? You have some, tanky hero on your team. Undying is also pretty legit in that aspect. But honestly, like, I like PSG's opener much more right now. Yeah. And they're taking their time. You can see they're taking their time because they understand that there's multiple ways PSG can take this draft. Like, they can go for the tempo, they can go for the just bare Duza and Undying counters. They have options, and forward they have to figure out which one is the biggest problem for them, basically, and ban it out.
Trying to think what LGD's offlane option is though. So they're gonna be heavily invested in a tri lane, which is against an Undying, or you go for dual lane straight away, which is going to be a Strength Hero and Tusk with probably another Strength Hero.
I mean, you can go for dual lanes though. You can if Undying is really good versus trial lanes, right? You said it, but at the same time, uh, dual lanes with Tusk can defeat the dual lane with Undying, and the same goes with Lich. Rubik, all right. Now I'm wondering, FY Rubik this time? Oh, FY Rubik is not gonna be
Wrong
this time
side. Wrong
because
side.
it's the wrong side. I had that like I was just dreaming about FY Rubik. Leave me alone. I
Yep,
want to see it.
maybe we get FY Morphling, and then he morphs into Rubik, and you semi get your dream. You get a semi dream. You don't get the full dream.
That's a stretch. That's
But-
a stretch. But I like it. I'll take it. I'll take whatever you give me right now.
I
Like,
think it's the closest you're getting, to be honest with you. So of course we did see the anti-mage banned out by Ford Gaming. What does LGD fill this gap with? You said about Slark. Could we maybe see something like a Monkey King in this type of game?
yeah, you can definitely. It's also a hero that brings a lot of tempo to the table for PSG, and they can roll through the mid game and stop this Duza from farming anywhere. But they go for all right. Listen, like this hero, I actually love him. I love Razor right now. Like,
Really?
people aren't. Yeah. Like I mean, it's like Lich. I hate him, but I love him at the same time. I respect his power. Let's say it that way, because honestly, I think this hero is underpicked, at least in pubs, in pro games as well. Like Razor is legit, man. Like this hero should be picked way more often right now. I think, I mean, yeah, teams are realizing how strong he is, but they aren't there yet. It's not like first pick material yet, and I honestly think this hero might deserve it because it works very well on the safe lane versus most of these offlaners, and also at the same time he's good on the mid lane versus many heroes. But that wouldn't be enough. Like Razor, like Lizard, tell me something new. That's Razor. He wins the lane. He scales a bit better than before. His third spell is ridiculous after the recent changes, and itemization. Like you can go different ways, and later on in the game, he scales with his talents. He actually scales really well. So, oh, bat, right? The classic bats instantly. All right.
Batright is actually a bit of a weird one to kind of place right now. I feel like the performance we have seen from Bats have been kind of underwhelming because it doesn't apply as much pressure as it used to, right?
Yeah, that's true. But in this kind of a game, you have to see what he's playing against. Dusk, Shards, Batrider does not care. Lich, Frost Armor, Batrider does not care. Razor, you can just run circles around him. So Batrider actually seems really good. I like the PA, but every time I see PA versus Duza, I want to see something like a Starladder there as well. I want to see a hero that's gonna amp that PA up. I don't think that's on her own, on her lonesome, that she's enough. She needs some minus armor or some hero that just like Beast is in the pool, Slardar is in the pool. I would love to see one of those two. Beast maybe. Hmm. Either works, to be
Possibility.
honest.
Because
Yeah,
actually, it's weird that Beast hasn't been banned out. We're 10 bans in, and
Yep.
we're on the 9th pick soon. Usually, first pick material, arguably. Like, Beastmaster is, without a given scenario, usually the best choice for the offlane.
But I mean, this is what I was talking about. Forward gaming, if they have the fourth pick after Razor, and they could go for that, Beastmaster, but because of the Razor, it's kind of like they're thinking, all right, if we pick Beast here versus the Razor, maybe they put Razor versus him, and we're just gonna have a lane that's lost instantly from the laning stage, from the minute from the get go, right? So you go for the bat and you leave the Beast through. I love the Abaddon ban because it's so good versus bat. It gives them an opportunity to just shield that PA and she jumps in. You know what? A good combination that we haven't seen in a while is Darkseer plus Tusk. That's also an option, but it doesn't really buff your PA per se. But at the same time, you pressure that lane so hard with the double Iron Shell, and there's no AAM that's going to play against you. There's Jug hasn't been banned, but
They want that
yeah,
though. I mean,
then
does
you'd
that
have
really
to put
fit the
Medusa
lineup?
versus Razor. Yeah, it's not great. You have to have to figure out a way to deal with this Razor on the lane. Maybe some Puck. Puck isn't banned for forward gaming.
And run like Deuce a safe lane? Yeah, that could
Yeah,
work. I feel like most of the time we see Deuce mid at the moment, and I kind of
of
understand
course.
why. It's easier access between the lane and the jungle for efficient farming.
Don't get me wrong. I'd rather see Duza on the mid lane as well. It's all, but it might be a bit problematic versus the Razor too. But it shouldn't be. She has range. She stays
She's
back.
fine. Oh, Tiny actually
Tiny.
coming out. All right, so should be an off-lane Tiny here. Chalice special incoming.
Mm-hmm.
And that hero
Okay.
can sustain well on his own as well, so you can start a tri-lane top and be assured that Tiny probably won't die alone.
Yeah, you definitely can do that. He's gonna be playing versus that Undying. Anyway, no, not necessarily. It might be Rubik +1. I'm wondering if they start as tri-lane or not again. Because
It's the
last game it
Undying
didn't really
threat.
work out for them.
Like I think maybe try and start as aggressive tri-lane, force the Undying to come to your lane first and then TP away. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow, this is the classic mid matchup. Death Prophet versus Razor. This is like TI4 time. What's going on here?
Classic mid matchup 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
classics.
Actually, classic mid matchup when I was a pro player still.
I'm taking you back to the days.
Man, I remember this matchup. I had this mid lane player. I'm not gonna name him obviously, but every time we were playing Death Prophet versus Razor, he just dies, ports back in, dies, runs back to the mid. He can't lane versus it. Then we pick Razor versus Death Prophet for him, and the same thing happens. just with Razor.
Oh no.
Fun times, fun times. I wonder why I stopped trying to compete. Was it my mid laners? Was it me? There are so many things. Anyway, coming back to this game, it's hype, man. Like, who would you go for in this game? I honestly, in my opinion, I'd go with forward gaming again. Like, I like their draft, but at the same time, you have Lich, you have Tusk, you have PA, and you have that Razor. Look at him. He has a coat. He has a Scotty coat for the winter.
Yeah, they got a very nice frosty kind of lineup going on. I kind of like LGD's a little bit more. I like the way the Razor can kind of pressure things, but I think while I like the team fight and the lane control more, I'm just looking forward and going, Ford actually has a way to hit towers. Whereas LGD, like Razor, if he gets his hands on Ag, sure, but that's not going to happen very quickly. Whereas you've got a Death Prof on the other side.
Remember in that last game, PSG, they had only one core that was able to dish out that physical damage, and that was that Luna, and she was playing versus Lich. Now you have Yavar's. Yeah, you have his little banshees flying around, and you have Duza, but at the same time, you're playing versus Lich, PA, Razor. Eh, these heroes are extremely hard to kill at one point in the game, and if you don't deal with them fast enough, they're gonna deal with you. So I don't know. I have a feeling that forward gaming is facing similar issues that LGD was facing in the last game, but I think they scale a bit better than that Luna could. Because you have the Duza, you have the Crobulus, you have the Death Prophet, that is.
That's the thing for me, is like, also when you get into these mid-late game scenarios, the Razor's going to be more useful against the Death Prophet, the static links. But this Phantom Assassin that would normally go for like kind of that quick burst down won't get the opportunity. And Aeon Disc will eventually come out, and suddenly Yawar won't be the target that Phantom Assassin can deal with anymore.
By the way, it's Tiny Mid. So we're going to see a Tiny Mid, a Chalice Razor on the offlane versus the Duza plus Undying. And we're gonna see Lich plus PA on the safe lane. Lich plus PA. I mean, PA already started with the stick. He knows he's gonna be playing versus the Bat Rider, so it's a good thing. Oh, by the way, very very funky start on Universe. Two mantles of intelligence.
Really? Okay, that's a different way to go. I mean, you can get into the quick spell amp, and that could arguably be pretty effective here with the use of the Fireflies.
Yeah, null tallies are pretty good. It's just something that I don't know. It's Universe, however, so
yeah, he knows what he's doing. This guy's smart.
He's smart. He's got the brains and the looks. Cup of pride.
A little bit of jealousy coming out there from Liz. Runes. Looks like LGD got their hands on 3 of them actually. They bullied top a little bit, and this is kind of an awkward issue. is like Medusa doesn't really fight well at level 1.
I also think that Tiny does not really care too much versus that Prophet on the mid lane. I mean, if he messes up too hard, yes, but he shouldn't have too many problems versus that Prophet here.
Yeah, I was actually going to come across with the first wave. There's already a deny coming out. Made that 2, actually. So nicely done by the Tiny, already getting an advantage here.
Yeah, I love what he did. He didn't block, which effectively made that Prophet have to farm under the tower, right? And Tiny with that big stick of his, he has an advantage top lane. However, SVG.
They'll get him low. They won't be able to finish him off, though. He has been stacking the decays up, so it'll tank him. A lot of damage for a level 1 static link stolen there.
He gave a double down. Oh, you shouldn't be stacking
yeah,
like that.
that's... I'm not sure what FY's movements are back and forth there. That's not helping Chalice out at all. He's down to 400 HP. Although, maybe this is a strategy. They went, okay, we took a lot of damage. Let's just get our health low and tango up.
And heal up. One tango, full HP.
Easy life. See? He's just munching through him. And that means the SVG is just burning through his mana, not able to do anything with it.
I mean, and when you give so much damage to Razor, he doesn't really have to kill you. He can just keep on denying the creeps away from the Duza. So there's that. And FY, what he's doing actually is he's creep skipping. I mean, it's not really great, honestly. If you're playing offlane right now, if you're playing a dual lane scenario, you want to be winning it super hard. You don't want to be doing this. This is something that people were doing a few patches ago with Pangoliers and heroes that don't necessarily win the lane, but they just get what they can on their own, right?
Yeah, the existence meta, as I like to call it. You didn't really do anything other than try and survive the lane phase as an offlaner. Now there's a big kind of onus on you actually going for kills, you actually denying farm to the course.
Yeah, right now, if you're going offlane, you're expecting to win it, to be honest. 9 out of 10 times, unless you're playing versus something like a Lich, you're expecting to win that lane. Because these offlaners and dual lanes are just so powerful. Ever since Axe, Grimstroke... Oh,
I've got no resolution here. Snowball forward, they can get close enough to tag team as well. And Chalice does have the damage to run this through. Soul Rip almost kills off Chalice. He's going to live though. First blood drawn, going to move away. He's getting low. SVG has decay coming off cooldown, but fair fire up. Chalice trying to stay alive here. Not enough. They'll just salve afterwards, says thank you very much. That's less mana for you, and this Undying is actually out of regen. They're going to turn around with the tag team now. Need to be careful not to aggress this too hard, but with that stolen damage doing a lot in return to the Undying here.
Yeah, when you're an Undying in a situation like this one, you're actually happy to be taking damage because you can tank up some spells and then go and deny yourself or something. However, one of the... Oh, Duza actually again.
Oh no, Static Link, the body block's coming out. Good from FY, now the tag team activates. He's got the mana shield up, but Undying can't help him. He's running away. SVG, low on mana.
Oh, no.
They decide against it. They decide they've actually had a big enough impact. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, there's going to be a kill as Lich does go down. And LGD being chased on to Arme. 6 sticky napalm stacks. Universe tanking the tower, though. They didn't get rid of the aggro. And actually, MSS needs to move away. There's TP coming in from Lich right now. They sustain vision. There's the dagger through. We'll slow him down. Next Nova's going to move in. And they should be able to run through this kill as well. No escape for the Rubik.
So effectively, they're winning bot lane, they're winning top lane, and mid lane. Tiny, as we said, is gonna just be dominating Gavar. He has no problems playing Tiny versus Dead Prophet.
Oh, he's just cruising through this lane. There's no real threat to him, and he knows it.
Oh, it's like Tiny versus Dead Prophet. She can siphon you, but you don't really care. You're so tanky, naturally.
FY? That's a little bit deep. He will go down with the rotation coming out from MSS, but that does mean Batrider is now alone in the bot lane.
I like this still, though. I like this from Forward Gaming because, listen, this Batrider, he can lane alone versus PA and Lich now. He can take these camps away. He can just napalm. He can just farm, right? He doesn't have to pressure them. But you're losing 3 lanes effectively. You have to do something about it. And this rotation from the Rubik on the top lane is at least gonna... Oh?
Yo, what? Spirit siphoned. If he didn't do that, he would have went down with a DD on the Tiny. And actually, Universe, he's going to go down the bot lane instead. So
we're
screw what we just
all
said.
The action, guys. Everything, everywhere. We're covering it all.
LGD. I mean, they were annoyed after game 1. They've came out, and so far, they're applying a lot of pressure to Ford Gaming. At least MSS gets both the bounty runes top, though.
this is how I saw them in Moscow, and this is like what I expected from game 1 as well. I really didn't expect Forward to be doing as well as they were, but in this game they have Duza, they have that Prophet. It's all about that level 6 and when they start rotating.
Undying. They found SVG here. That's the last decay he's got to work with. Gonna run him down. They haven't got the mana for Avalanche is the problem. I'm not sure if they've got enough to run this through. With MSS coming across, they have bought. All they've done is give justification to Undying now denying himself. Or using the shrine.
Heal up. Yeah, heal up with MSS. But however, yeah.
I mean, no one else needs it right now. The Deuce is fine, and Yawar is pretty healthy.
And they're smoking up to go for this tiny kill. However, I don't know. Honestly, one port from Tusk or something, and they turn this.
And also 1.3k HP on this tiny. Oh, they're going to rotate now. Yeah, he's hung around a little bit too long. Lift is going to drag him back. Avalanche does crown out the Frost Shield as well to keep him alive. And the Spirit Siphon will persist. Yawar. Nope, the gaze interrupts him before he can actually throw out the Crypt Swarm. Nicely done by X-Nova there.
Exactly, and it's such a huge rotation, right? You rotate the Undying, the Rubik as well. You're trying, like they're definitely trying. They're trying to make something happen on the map because they realized how poorly their lanes have went. But it hasn't really, these rotations, they haven't really amounted to anything so far. They didn't really get much out of these rotations. The bat is farming bot.
Yeah, but they're rotating on him right now. The sticky napalms ran out, so Arme's not in threat anymore. They're going to toss across, that'll slow him down. With that, they can clean up the kill. The lift from MSS will not change the outcome here.
Yeah. And the Rubik just realizes he has to run back.
Problems occurring right now for Ford Gaming. The one lane that was going okay for them is now getting roughed up pretty hard. I think this is the other issue that I'm seeing is right now, Arme is kind of just threading the needle here. He's playing this perfectly. He backs away whenever the creeps are nowhere nearby. And MSS in the mid lane. Oh, looks like LGD is going to find another kill. Can they need a farm tap? Sal's going to come up, move away. Snowball in the back line. SVG targeted. FY zoning him out and chase it forward with the Exorcism running. Can they do enough damage? Chalice is going to go down. That's a kill. Maybe they can turn it into tower. Arme arrives. The crit comes through and SVG falls. And suddenly, Yawar, he needs an escape plan. He's got a TP. Oh, no. No, he peeked out for a second. Don't look. Have you not watched Bird Box? He's going to go down.
It's one of those.
It is. Just don't look.
Don't look, man. Just turn your head towards the trees and hope for the best. You know, just hope they don't see you. If you don't see them, they don't see you, right? That's how it goes.
But he had a ward down. I can only imagine that was a misclick because he was hidden in those trees right here.
Yeah, it was. What he did, it happens honestly. What he basically did is he right clicked on top of a tree, and because of that, the hero turned back. That's all. But he knows the juke spot. I know the same juke spot as well. I did the same thing has happened as well. You just click 1 inch to the wrong side and you turn back. Unfortunate for him.
He almost found it. Sadly, as a result, he won't make it out. I think if he just TP'd, like you just take the chance, he probably would have made his escape because they didn't know exactly where he was.
Yep.
Sometimes just trying to be a little bit too smart can backfire, folks.
Overall, though, he did utilize his ultimate completely. They did take down Razor mid. Also, they took half of that tower. They created some space for that Duza. So it's not all looking grim for them.
Universe. They're going on. Right, the Frost Shield's going to come out. There's the Fade Bolt, slow him down. Lift, drag him back. Phantom Assassin. He used the Phantom Strike to go in, and now he has no easy escape from this. Fade Bolt's going to stack up. Gaze. Nice lockdown from X-Nova. The turnaround of should be there. Universe. One more tap needed. They'll be able to find it. FY with Snowball forward. Looking on the SVG. The tag team does slow him down enough. And suddenly, Arme comes back in to make sure he gets himself a mega kill streak.
It looks like PSG is overcommitting, and then you realize they've got everything they need to take that fight, like sticks on the PA, the blower not activated yet to allow her to look back and get that 1 second extra time to Phantom Strike back onto her teammate Lich to run away while he gazes the Batrider. Everything they do is so well thought through.
MSS. Uh-oh. That's not the place to be. Exorcism was committed. So Yawar says, okay, if you're going to go down, I'm at least going to take the tower. But I think you're right. Like, I look at this game right now, and I think the biggest problem for Ford Gaming is because these big sticks, right? The Batrider, if you're in a scenario where Universe is your savior, and that's the one that you have to rally behind, it's a hero that is giving over all these charges on the sticks, on the wands. So at this point in the game, there's no opportunity to burst these heroes down in time. Oh, engagement in the river here. There's the Lasso coming out. Does lock the Lich in place. Make sure he doesn't get involved. The Avalanche doesn't really do enough to Yoa. And they're going to walk away. So the kill on Lich does occur. Nothing else will happen there.
Yeah, they take down Lich, but at the same time, their Exorcism is out. They use the Lasso too. I mean, that Lasso, right now, you just use it on whoever you can. It's like you have an initiating tool to use it on the proper target. Taking down that Lich is something for them. It's not great. I think they're lacking levels. That's their biggest issue right now. Level 4 Undying, level 4 Rubik. Only one of them gets to use that Dome, and it's probably gonna be the MSS Rubik. You need those levels on him.
And they're good spells to steal here. Frost Shield, Avalanche.
Top lane. Yeah.
They're going in. SVG. The sad life of an Undying. The body block's coming out from the Tiny just to torture him a little bit more and make sure they get all the damage with the static link.
I mean, Undying. Oh, mid lane though.
They're going in right now. Ice Shards doesn't block him out enough, but Yoa, it doesn't matter. He's already too low. They got level 6 on the Tusk, and that gave them enough lockdown to follow up.
Yeah, so they get the Undying on top lane, but more importantly, they take down that Prophet on the mid lane, which is a huge kill for them. And now they can rotate bottom and pressure this Medusa out of the lane.
And this is painful as well, because Ford had 2 cores down here. They're not really getting any value out of this.
I think the biggest issue for them is this Bat Rider. Like, few patches ago, few years ago, this Bat Rider right now would have a Blink Dagger, or he'd be damn close to it. But this patch, you're expected to be fighting on that plane. You're expected as Bat to create space, to be pressuring their carry, and because of that, you can't really farm as well. However, with a 4-man smoke rotation, they might.
Oh, they're gonna run into trouble though. Yeah, FY is not the optimal target to start this with though. Now the Chain Force comes out, they stack so hard. It bounces across, Avalanche locks them in place. Universe might go down soon. They've already lost one, the steal's gonna be there, but can they do enough with it? Exorcism activated, MSS holding his ground here. The Avalanche is on cooldown for 10 seconds, and Arme trying to get involved. Spirit Cypher's going to zone them out. They toss the Death Prophet away. The tree across is not enough to finish off MSS, but the crit with the dagger is. And Arme thinks about hunting for more, but they're going to be careful. They say, okay, Ford Gaming, they just lost a hero, and they committed the Exorcism.
Yeah, they committed the Exorcism versus the Liches. The Exorcism, the value is just so big for their team. They basically are unable to take any objectives after that is committed. The only silver lining for Ford Gaming is the fact that Rezo was farming that whole time. He had a lot of stacks here around the shrine in this holy triangle. He was farming really well. So
and now look at LGD. They've smoked now. They want to go on the move. They found FCG. Roll in. There's the stun through. No chance to even use the decay. And that's going to be the tier 1 falling. And suddenly, you were talking about Medusa farming. If they lose towers like this, there'll be nowhere for their farm very soon.
Exactly. PSG just realizing they have full map control. MSS Rubik on the right
pretty
side.
Deep. Gaze to control him up, looking for the kill. Warriors Punch used in return. FY still chasing on this. Can he do enough? Is a question. It doesn't look like it. Both supports from the side of LGD go down. They got a little bit too greedy.
Definitely. The Tiny is on the bottom lane. He has that Blink Dagger. He's the one that brings that necessary burst damage to his side. And if you're... they shouldn't be doing these things. Like, if you're rotating for a tower, I think your most valuable hero right now when it comes to burst damage is Tiny. I think you should be playing around and with him. So, Tusk and the Lich, let's say Tiny is there. That Rubik disappears instantly and they fall back. But like this, that Rubik is basically a bait. They don't manage to kill him, and instead they don't take the tier 1 and they lose 2 of their supports. So.
They did also give over a pretty decent spell at this stage in the game, which is the Walrus Punch. So now MSS can look for pickoffs pretty easily with that.
They are smoking up, so they realized. They basically heard me. They said, all right, guys, let's do the same thing again, but let's smoke with the Tiny. Yeah.
Oh, haste pick up by MSS. Avalanche, toss forward. Is it enough? Yep. With the ice shots for just in time.
He's the one that dies.
Universe is here, though. Oh, there's Lasso coming out. Razor dragged on the tower with Spirit Siphon as well. Chalice can't move quick enough, and they decide they can't help him either. Blink was still on cooldown for the Tiny.
Just a little bit too eager there to try and push. I understand what he was doing. He was basically thinking, all right, Tiny did reveal himself, but I still have the Lich and the Tusk. However, they had no spells, and they weren't really in position to help him out.
And that does get Universe very close to his Blink Dagger, now up to 1900 gold. He will have it in his possession soon, if they get enough bounties as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Like 200 gold more, and he has the link. Just pretty good timing. Like if you remember, bats were building drums and stuff like that, like utility items, and that's what scares me about forward gaming too. They have this pick-off potential, right? With the bat, you can blink in and take. You can eliminate one target, let's say, but you don't. You do not have the hero that's gonna bring that utility to your team. You don't have the Vlad's builder. You don't have the Crimson builder. You don't have a pipe builder. Nothing like that, right? So even if you eliminate that one target, like I'm still afraid for them in that team fight afterward.
And things aren't looking good for them at this stage, right? They've taken a tier 1, but you're the Death Prophet lineup, and you just traded a tier 1 for a tier 2.
And you have that Uza, and that tier 2 basically allows her to farm the jungle even safer. I mean, that tier 2 on top, honestly, isn't the most important one as long as you have that shrine. But it is important, obviously. It's another big objective for your team.
MSS has got an Invis rune. He's going to spot out FY here. They ping, they know something's up, as he did get blocked for a second. But this should just alleviate any pressure because, as you said, the Dusa has access to this triangle, and you know they're going to try and make that move. But instead, they move on Tusk. They'll be able to melt right through him. No chance to use his spell as he was silent stop. And speaking of Vlad's, by the way, Tusk almost has it.
Yeah, he's buying it because Tiny went for Blink Dagger. He's going for damage as well. He's going for Echo Saber next. Basically, he's gonna be a hard hitter too for his team. So instead of going my way and picking like a Beast or Starladder to buff up this PA and her damage output, they went with the Tiny and an additional damage dealer, right? So I actually like this. In hindsight, I was wrong. I like this approach better because if Bat eliminates PA, you still have that Tiny that you have to worry about, right? Or if he eliminates Tiny, you have to worry about PA. So.
Yeah, there's no easy solution, no easy target for this Bat Rider. Speaking of which, Bat Rider ready to go. Chalice, he's on his own. They have Lasso to work with. They don't have to use it. The Ice Shards won't be good enough, and they'll say, okay, Lasso has to be used here. Shards a little bit off the mark.
Exactly. If those shards connected, then definitely you don't have to use the Lasso. I think that's a little bit unfortunate for them because they lose the opportunity to take this tier 1 freely, but they're still pinging it. And I think it's just going to be a trade, yeah. Because the thing about this tier 1, it's very hard to defend if they take control of this part of the map and they board the cliff. It's very hard for you to approach the fight properly as Radiant.
Well, there's something big about this as well. They're not going to use the Exorcism, but they could here, and they could go straight to the pit. They could still do this because if you look at it, LGD have committed heavily to that bot lane, which means they're nowhere near the Roche pit right now.
They could. They don't have Lasso though, so they might be a little bit too careful about that.
They are very reluctant. They're going to just farm up the Radiant jungle right now. Leave the Dusa in that jungle while they actually go on the prowl right now.
I would actually, like, as you said, I would love to see them go for that pit because they have to realize this. PH, he went for the Battle Fury. Like, he's in farming mode. You have to force him to fight. You don't. You have Duza, but at the same time, you have Exorcist Roche. If the PA fights, you have an advantage there. So.
I think you're right. It's about manipulating the PA. Like, you identify the build she's gone for, and then you force her to do something suboptimal.
Exactly. Very well put. At the same time, you have to be careful of the Tusk Shards. You have to be careful of Lich's Chain Frost inside that pit. So, yeah, get a pick off or two, let's say. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get a pick off first. Let's take some objectives around this pit before we actually commit to it. They aren't in front by any stretch, so they have to be careful about everything that they do. Because let's say they commit Exorcism in that pit and then they lose the fight, you're giving away Roche, and instantly you're giving away full map control. So
it looks like LGD are the ones that want to strike. They've smoked up. Echo Saber's been picked up on the Tiny as well.
It's the best smoke on smoke action.
Yeah. The high ground belongs to the board. They're going to move, and Outlaws going to be there to connect on one. Silence is going to be there as well. Exorcism comes out. MSS does survive, and Tiny might not be so lucky. Task with the snowball is going to save them. Buys a little bit of time. That Chain Frost bouncing around. It's not good enough, though. Double kill comes out from SUG. Now the Lassie Dragon Ball back in. The Gaze locks back right in place so that Raze can run away. But X-Nova won't be so lucky. And that does mean that they can go into the pit, because this was right next to Roshan.
This was so good for forward. Man, are they. It's not only luck, they're smoked up in the right time. and they're also in the right place when they smoke up. Unfortunately for LGD, I think they're being way too eager with these smokes. I think they felt way too strong ever since the laning stage, right? They were winning it super hard, so they felt that they have power that's necessary to win these engagements, even if they run uphill like that. And they paid the ultimate price. They're losing Rosh as well, it seems.
They might lose more if they're not careful. Universe just zoning them out right now. Roche about to be finished. And that's a long TP for Tiny. He can get in time. Aegis has been claimed. Snowball through. SVG might be the sacrificial lamb. But honestly, that's all you're going to find. Oh, Avalanche, just a moment too late. MSS escapes. By the way,
you lose.
I just want to say, MSS with this double bracer build is super legit. Like, if he didn't have this build, in that last fight, he would have died first, and it's a totally different outcome, potentially.
I've seen Rubik's actually build this. Dazzles, Rubik's, whatever. Just tank up, just get 2 bracers. That's it. And the urn. Like, I remember Rubik's going for Tranquil's drums before. It's kind of similar, right? It serves a similar
it's a better version of the old bracer excuse, right? Like, supports used to do it's like, I need to tank up. It's going to pad my stats a little bit and make sure I don't die. Now you get match resistance as well.
Yeah, before, like, if you're good, you get a blink. If you're bad, you buy some bracers, you tank up.
Life is simple, man.
Bad,
Lasso,
yeah.
Life is not simple for this task. He's been found silenced up. He will go down here. A dagger thrown out by the PA, but Arme is not engaging there, even with the BKB online.
You have the BKB, but you're playing versus Aegis. You're playing versus Exorcism that's coming up online. So, I mean, they can just pressure this. They can even pressure high ground right now if they want to.
Yeah, with the Exorcism, if they save it here, they can make a choice off this tower. They don't have to commit it. Frost Shield will slow things down, but this Dusa, it's hard and fast, and no one wants to touch her.
Yeah, so what are the options for LGD? What can they do? They can jump in, they can toss back the target that's hitting the high ground, perhaps. Maybe that's Kroblis if she gets too close. And actually, they're actually turning a bit back. Is this a fake back? It looks like a fake back, actually.
Yeah, they're trying to bait someone out a little bit. They might find it. FY is shown on the creep wave. Medusa Illusions will move. They'll just TP away. They say that, okay, they haven't come out far enough.
It was a nice attempt to fake back, but at the same time, creeps were hitting top lane and the tier 2 on the bottom, so they couldn't really... They had to run back and defend. It gave them away.
That was an interestingly risky move from Tiny there. He just avalanche tossed the creep wave with the Deucer in it. The problem is, for all he knew, there could have been a TP back by the Rubik, and that could have easily backfired. They didn't have vision on that high ground at all.
He was risking it. I don't think he saw the Rubik anywhere on the map, but he was risking it because you're thinking, all right, if Dusa ported here, she has the Aegis. And usually what happens is people... teams put the hero with the Aegis to go and defend and outpush on his zone, because it's very unlikely that they're gonna go for that kill. Let's say they go for this Dusa kill. Like, there's no way. There's no way. So you just sent her to outpush, and Tiny was playing the risk, but he had some information and he was playing accordingly to it. As
a result, he does get out alive, because Tiny is the third most valuable in this game. Almost has his Shadow Blade online. Just going for those pickoffs, but it's hard to find them now. Like, we were talking about the Rubik with the double bracer. That makes him an impossible kill. Undying is not an easy one. All he has to do is press his ultimate and suddenly extra health. What's your target? Is it Bat Rider in this type of game? It feels like that's the only way you can go.
You can go Bat or Rubik. Those are your 2 options. You can even try and blow up this Death Prophet, to be honest. She's not, like, she's a bit tankier than the Rubik, I suppose. So you can go for one of those 2. With the PA critting for 1,000 damage, you can definitely go for that.
Oh, let's see if they can use this, because LGD just smoked up again.
They're smoking up and running uphill again, which isn't really something that I like way too much. The PA is not connecting with them either, so yeah, this is what I like more. But yeah, I mean, it's a wasted smoke, but it's better than just
running at them
disaster smoke
into a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly, like the last one.
Oh,
you
looking forward.
Up, you take your position. Yeah.
Straight away.
Now, if you are LGD, you want to be taking high ground and you want to be standing on it. You want to put one hero on one side of the high ground, the other on the other. But the problem is Universe. He can fly over, he can see you, he can pull you out.
Oh, he knows Lasso's going to be there with Tiny, drags him straight in, exit activate, BKB comes up, you are. And Tiny, he should be going down before he can do anything. Walrus Punch on the side. Doesn't really actually achieve anything. Resolution 4 stars forward. Looking to slow them up a little bit. X-Nova, Chain Force does come out. They need to split up. It's too late. It's going to go down. They lose the Corey as well. And, well, Exorcism was committed, but Ford Gaming, they're in a position to push here. Luckily, Phantom Assassin did cut the wave a little bit before TPing away. Got back up.
They do kill the Tiny. They slow down that Shadow Blade. They also take a favorable fight, but they lose the Aegis. I mean, it ran out. And the Exorcism has been used. So, LGD, this is their time to strike, basically. If they want to turn this game, this is when they should do it. FY, though.
MSS. Whoops. Well, finally stolen. Ice Shard's got some off, but Universe is here as well. And X-Nova already used to Chain Frost. They're aware of this information. So that's going to come out. And Tusk taking a little bit too much damage. He will go down. No deny coming out from the neutrals. Gaze locks in place Universe. Forced up away. The triple dagger running across. They can't get close enough. And Resolution's here now. I don't think you find this. Arme needs to be careful about this. Cross shield does protect him. Resolution looking to move away. Has got the Gaze activates. The BKB comes out. Spirit Cypher as well. Lasso drags him across. Batrunner's trying to split up the fight a little bit. Chalice has been stunned on the spot. BKB activated, trying to fight up against him. With the Tombstone down, he needs to retreat. And his BKB is about to run out. Actually, he needs to be careful.
They need to run. Oh, PA is actually turning. So that's
She wants to. The Tombstone's still going. They want to get rid of Avalanche. They're going to move forward. Looking for the kill into Yuan. Tosses him back. He's pretty deep. Yuan's going to be there. Did get the Spirit Siphon out in time, but it's on the wrong target. Arme not healing him up a lot. That's a lot of gold going the way of Tiny. They can maybe find more if they're quick here. Link forward. Oh no, they shrine. The Avalanche is going to be there on the 2. Now they're going to move through. Ray's trying to get in range. Static Link broken instantly by the Hurricane Pike. Now SVG left behind, left for dead. In fact, the big brick comes out and Arme still on the hunt for more. Can he find it is the real question. I think they'll be happy with that. They just need to take a tower. This is the thing. LGD just took a good fight, but they're not deciding a tower. They finally pinged one, and they will look for this tier 2 in the bot lane.
After those BKBs were used, well, with not any big effect, right? They didn't kill the Prophet, they didn't kill the Tuza or anything. I expected Forward Gaming to take a clean fight there or just fall back properly, but they actually lose some heroes.
And they lose a lot of towers. They lost the bot tier 2, they lose a mid tier 2. And I think this is kind of difference we're seeing between a defensive and aggressive Lasso. Because that was a defensive Lasso. That was to slow things down a little bit. And it meant they had no opportunity to kill that target in time.
Yeah, I mean, PA popped the BKB, you instantly lasso her so that she cannot be hitting anyone. That's true, but at the same time, as you said, it's a defensive one. You can't burst the target down as the PA is already BKB'd. You can't really kill anyone else as the Tiny was. Sorry, not Tiny, Razor was BKB'd as well. So overall, if you, it's all about this initiation, right? If you initiate with Universe and you blow up the Tiny or anyone else on their team, you win the clean fight. But at the same time, if that Tiny jumps you and he blows up your Rubik instantly, it can be problematic for you to keep on fighting afterwards if you're Forward Gaming.
But they want to fight. They just got a big power spike because they reached level 20 with Resolution and they got the Butterfly. Move forward, there it is. They use the lasso, the haste going. Razor just dragged far away from his team and far away from safety.
This is, you know what? This is so insane. This kind of Dota, let's just check what's going to happen on mid. She has a Satanic. Yeah,
he should be fine. This is the troll build, as I've normally been calling it at the moment. Satanic plus Sanjin Yasha. It's just hard to lock down. Buyback comes out from Razor. Avalanche catches on the free. BKB, then they're going to go work the Gaze. Find enough time for Exorcism to come out. Now, LGD need to back up. Charles with the BKB activated, trying to move away quick enough. He's going to get low. He needs to be careful about re-engaging here. They want to do it. You are trying to move away. Tiny's going to move in. Avalanche next on the free again, and they can't split quick enough. The Chain Frost coming up. BKB coming up for Phantom Assassin. Yules buys a little bit of time. Yuan is Starladder. The crit. The Chain Frost bouncing around. He's going to go down. The buyback comes out from the Rubik, but can he get across in time? Snowball through. Resolution's been found as well. Buyback's going to be there on the Death Prophet. It's too late though. Resolution 4 stars away. Luna turn around. Can they keep him alive? Maybe. Arme has to back up here. Still has a Sanic to work with, but no BKB anymore.
Ame, you absolute monster. Like, the amount of damage that he's dealing in these fights is just ridiculous. So many buybacks, by the way. We have the Lich, we have the Razor, and we have the Tusk from one side. On the other, we have... Oh, actually, that Prophet bought back.
Yeah, but that was to make sure they did not pursue the Medusa kill, because you can't afford to have your Medusa die at this stage.
No, definitely, you don't want her dying. At the same time, though, it seems like this PA is able to deal with their team much easier than this Duza is.
Universe?
Oh,
Oh, no, no, he blinks short. He's going to try and push it back now. He'll get X-No and drag him in. They get this kill, they'll go straight to the pit.
I don't know if this is good, though. I don't think this is the kill that you...
Not at this stage of the game. Now Tiny turns around, looking for kill, Undying. He's going to try and heal the Soul Rip. It's too late. Cypher's going to be there. Can they do enough? The Spirit Cypher's not going to be good enough. Turn around. BKB out. But the crit's too big. It means Death Prophet's in full retreat. Resolution trying to cover their escape. Needs to be careful himself. Jumps across. MSS just gets deleted by the big crits. Arme will walk away now. A few too many Tombstone zombies for his liking. But a small preview into what's going to happen as this game continues to go on from the Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, this is the problem. Like, if you're playing this bad, like, there's absolutely no circumstance in which it's okay to lasso that Lich before the fight starts. You have to lasso a big target, a Tiny, a PA, even a Raven, it's fine. Don't lasso the Lich. The moment they see that the lasso is wasted on the Lich, they're gonna take the proper fight and they're gonna kill the Rubik and the Undying and go into the pit. I mean, even lassoing the Lich next to the Roshan when Rosh is up is so risky. It's so damn risky. Oh, they're gonna take the cheese, alright. Yeah, but honestly, just don't lasso the Lich. It's the first time that Universe has done it, and it's definitely gonna be the last time he does it in this game because he understands it's wrong. I'm certain.
Yeah, he should learn from this mistake. I also like the way he's kind of changing his build up now. He's going for the Crimson Guard next, identifying physical damage is definitely now the problem coming out from LGD.
It's the PA, it's the Razor, it's even the Tiny, but mostly the PA. You don't want to die from one dagger, so getting that Crimson for your team is really good. Overall, though, it looked like Forward Gaming might go back into the driving seat. It looked like they can take control of the game, and now with one bad lasso, they throw it away. That's how it feels. I'm not blaming Universe. He's been playing so well the whole game. But that lasso there on the ledge, yeah, that's a crucial mistake, I believe.
And as a result of that, LGD able to start cementing a lead with the pick up the Aegis. 5k net worth lead now for them. And Ford, they're going to be forced to play very defensively in this very small area of the map. The problem with that is Death Prophet still needs items. You can't just think about the Medusa here.
Yeah, and this Death Prophet isn't really the tankiest one, isn't really the richest one either. It's not that Shiva Octarine or something like that yet. He does have the plate mill.
There's an engagement coming. Arme breaks the high ground. Now the Ixim's going to come out as well. Resolution standing his ground. Lassu's there. Alice will go down first. Chain Force bouncing around. They lock him in place. Back Rider falls. Resolution does use the gaze. Arme turns around. Look at Yuwa as well. Yuwa says, oh, go. Protect me, Medusa. But the Chain Force still bouncing around. Is enough? 3 down already. Buybacks come out. And now Arme left alone to fight against this. Aegis is expired. Tiny finally arriving. Trying to get through Yuwa in time. But there's the Soul Rip heal. The Spirit Cypher still running. They're going to move across. The crit's not there. Finally, Arme will get the kill. And now it's Phantom as Assassin's fight. As SVG tries to stand his ground, the Tombstone is stacking up, but it doesn't matter. He's going to fall. Tiny does take decent damage, but they know they can't fight with the second life on the Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, this PA is such a monster, honestly. And Ame, he's doing this way too much. But at the same time, there's a glimmer of hope in all of that, because they did manage to deal with their team once. And if this PA didn't have that Aegis, it would have been a clean fight for Forward Gaming. Sadly, they did give that rush away. And
cool. That's a shame, actually. Universe just missed out on a kill on Tiny. He blinked in the wrong spot, so he can actually burn him up straight away. But yeah, you're right. They get rid of the Aegis. It was looking pretty good up to then. I like the double back by Yuwa when the Stone Gaze was activated. He knew if he didn't do that, he would have died to Phantom Assassin straight away. But in the end, it wasn't enough.
Went back. He just went back, but at the same time, Rezo lived, and he's moving slowly towards that MKB. He definitely needs it this game. So after he gets that, maybe they're gonna have a way of effectively dealing with this PA even easier. Overall, though, if they have the same fight, like if the same thing happens in like a minute without that Aegis, they just take it. They just take it cleanly, and they can push even. So. But is PSG.LGD gonna let that happen, though? Now that they don't have the Aegis, they're not gonna run up to your shrine. They're not gonna allow you that vision and high ground advantage once again.
I find it kind of amusing seeing what Yoa's doing. He's gone ahead and picked up the Ghost Scepter. It's the cheap bands Aeon Disc when you're playing Death Prophet in this type of game.
Yeah, it's a good pickup. It's definitely a solid pickup. Like, with that Ghost, effectively you're giving yourself another way of surviving through the burst of the Tiny or the PA. I can definitely get behind that. It's a good item. Instead of waiting for that Shivas, you just get the plate mail, then you get the ghost as well. It's an additional utility / survival items. It's pretty good.
Interesting approach from Charles as well. He's going for the heart next, identifying he doesn't want to melt like he did in the last suit last time. At the same time, this is kind of on the Tusk to maybe get his hands on a blink eventually. FY is going the route of the Yules. The problem is,
yeah,
if you eventually get...
I have to agree with you and say that Blink would be so good on Tusk here, just to save people from that lasso as well.
I think his logic is he sees that there's a Crimson Guard being built in Universe, so he knows there's been no BKB soon, which is a fair point. But I could just see that, like, the value out of a Blink versus a Yules. Like, you're gonna be more mobile in these fights with that.
Now, with the Yules, like, you can have the idea of maybe lassoing the bat as goes in, but Universe, he's so fast with his lassos, like, he instantly force out. Like, it's very unlikely that you're gonna be able to stop him that way. Yeah. However, he decided to go for that Yules. It's also good versus the silence, right? So it helps the Tusk in different ways.
Smoke, one smoke right here. It's forward move.
Yeah, but there's DD.
Yes, there is indeed. Arme moving through with the DD. You're still on half duration. They're going to take the high ground. Oh no, forward. They're going to walk back into it here. Smokes go pop. SVG drops the tombstone pretty early, trying to move away. Flesh Golem goes well. X is being used. Don't get as well. BKB. Charles just trying to move through here. Yawar staying alive with Spirit Sniper running through. They're going to kill his Tusk first of all, but Arme begins the crits. SVG down. Chain Force bouncing around. Resolution turned around on. He needs to force stuff away just in time. Charles taking a lot of damage, but they need to actually zone out. TP away from the Deuce, and MSS right under the eyes of the Tiny will TP away. They did lose their Death Prophet. As a result, Ford Gaming know they can't fight anymore.
Yeah, and PSG, it looks like they might chase for more. They saw that bad stuff with the Ward, but he's out already.
That was rough though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Ford Gaming, they kind of got off lightly. The way they kind of got caught there, that could have been 10 times worse for them.
That could have been horrible for them. And actually, it could have went either way, because Ame, he was getting really low. But that's Satanic and one crit, and he's full HP instantly.
This is the frustration with the new Satanic, with the status resistance, plus the Sanjin Yasha. How do you lock this person down? How do you deal with this Phantom Assassin?
It's not only the PA anymore, by the way. There's an AC completed on this Tiny, and he's building into Daedalus. He's gonna be your second little critter as well. Like, he's gonna be critting so hard. It's not gonna be a little critter, actually. Let's not put it that way.
I wouldn't call it... he's a tiny critter, but yeah.
He's a tiny critter, okay. Can go like that.
That works. They're gonna go on the prowl right now. Arcane Rune has been picked up. Shadow Blade being used. Tiny moving forward first. Sentries are down though, so he needs to be careful about how he does this. Phantom Assassin's on her way. And
there's a shrine there too.
Universe. He's looking for the jump here. There it is. First on him. There with Avalanche Toss. Goes to move away quick enough. Now they're gonna move in. Siphon gets Tiny low. They're actually going to break this Static Link straight away. Arme, he's about to sneak in here. He's thinking about it. Need to be careful, though. Static Link already being used. Well, there it is. Blink in. They're going to go forward. BKB comes out. Yawar getting low for the crit through. We'll get the kill to Undying. Case has been used. Yours going to be used onto the Medusa as they just kind of cut her out. Chalice, BKB going to stand his ground. Snowball comes in as well. Roar's Punch to lock down the Medusa. She's running out of mana fast. Snake finally returns. The Avalanche Toss is going to be there, and she's got no allies in sight. Star's trying to move away quick enough, but she can't. The Ice Shards cut her off again. The Chain Frost bouncing around. They get her out. Universe will not be so lucky, though. The last two buys him a little bit of time, but Arme, they're diving deep. The Tiny and her going for it. They'll find the kill straight away. Buyback comes out from Resolution. Needs to get him off the high ground. On the side, Universe has dragged them away from the base, but it will cost him his life. Heals up into the air, and when he comes down, see you later. You're going back up.
Yeah, to do the bot back, you do have Exorcism right now, so perhaps that's the way to defend.
They're jumping in. Resolution. They could go for the toss-back play, but it's on cooldown. Chance is going to be there. Spirit Siphon gets some low frost shield to protect, and there it is. Exorcism does come out. Yawar, he's so slow, though. Resolution moving in, trying to get the Skadi slow, but Arme, the mischance, he doesn't get it. They'll find the kill on the Tiny, but for an Exorcism, you need much more than this. They won't find it.
If they just manage to toss back, like, they could take a clean fight and maybe even the side, maybe even the game there, but that was really weird from Tiny. Not getting that kill there just cost them a push. Like, even if he didn't jump in, if they just continued hitting the Raxes, I'm certain they would take the lane. But because of that attempt, like, they have to fall back as their Tiny is dead, and you don't really want to be committing the buyback there or anything like that.
Although at the same time, Ford Gaming going to struggle to find a play off the back of this now the exorcism has ran out. X-Nova? Okay, they'll find this kill. A scary snake lady moving at the speed of light dost have that effect. Nice little haste room pickup.
Bounty room there. They see it. He's going to pick the second one up. While PSG, they're going to go for rush.
That's the perfect
This
move.
is going to be so fast, yeah.
Yeah, exorcism on cooldown. Ford Gaming, they'll probably know about this, but can they get out quick enough?
They have to defend this. Like, good thing is, even though they lost the tier 3, they just recently lost it, so they didn't lose the shrine next to the mosh pit. This shrine is so important because if there's no shrine, I'm certain they go for this rush pit. But because there's the shrine, Bet can port in like he's doing right now, and he can actually join the fight.
Yep, buyback coming out from the Lich as well. This Roche is getting pretty low. Oh, man. Down his ground right now. Throwing out daggers, looking for the crit, looking for the opening. But first, Batrider goes in the Yules. Straight on him straight away. This is the case locked in place. Resolution moving forward. BKB comes up Arme. He cuts the back line and finds skill undying. The War Spike's locked down the Resolution case. Finally going to come out. Go Steps. This do protect against Arme. They need to actually finish off this Roche, but Kane is the real question. They've just lost Universe as well. They're running out of heroes. Resolution trying to move away. The crit's going to be there. Arme. That's his ground here. Just trying to get rid of these pesky illusions. Chalice getting pretty low in the meantime. Snowball through on MSS. Locked him in place with the War's Punch as well. He can't move away quick enough. And the big crit. 1.7k from Arme. And they've secured the pit. They'll go and they'll finish this up. That's going to be an Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard going the way of LGD.
I was actually expecting Undying to buy back and the Rubik to buy back instantly and go and continue fighting this fight. But instead, they just realized, all right, we don't have the Exorcism.
Or speaking of the person with Exorcism, Yawar, he doesn't have a TP.
Yeah.
It's on cooldown for 40 seconds, and he is far, far away from the base.
They do not know that, so there's that.
They might realize it very quickly because Tiny's in the mid lane.
Oh, Yawar.
Oh no, this
Run back, Yawar, what are you doing?
Your whole base is exposed.
He looks like one of my teammates in my pubs, man. He's like, I'm done with you guys.
GG, end mid, I'll farm jungle, get my GPM up.
Noob carry.
Oh, this is actually gonna lose the whole base at this rate. TP soon.
10 more seconds, man. 10 more seconds. He's gonna lose two sides. But he cannot run. He needs to wait. That's the issue. If he runs, he's exposed. Like, he has to be very careful about how he does this.
And LGD will probably have a question mark in their mind as they just got 2 sets of Raxus for nothing.
I mean, realistically, they do have the Aegis, they have the Cheese and the Refresher. So most likely what would have happened is they would have gotten those 2 Rexes anyway. But, yeah.
You make them work for a low is the difference.
Yeah, definitely. You make them work for that. You should make them work for that, at least.
And the map is getting ever smaller for the side of Fort Gaming now. 2 lanes down, that's always going to be pushing in on them. They spend a lot of time on the high ground.
It's so hard right now. Tell me, Clear Vision, what do you do if you're forward gaming? How do you defend this?
So you nail down the outer exteriors, you like board up the windows, you prepare for a long winter.
Alright.
Because LGD are coming.
Someone is hyped about Game of Thrones, I see.
Right, it begins again soon. And actually, LGD's onslaught might begin again soon as well. Because Ford, this is the confident play, right? You got to move outside the base. You realize if you just stay inside, you're screwed anyway.
Yep. Teams are realizing this more often. Like, if you're in a situation such as this one, you've got nothing to lose. Just get out, smoke up, try to get a pick off before they reach your base. I mean, it's over anyway for you if you just sit on the high ground and wait for the push. However, honestly, we haven't seen Bet a lot. And Bet specializes at defending high ground because he can jump in. The problem about pushing versus Bet, pushing high ground versus Bet, is the fact that he has all the vision he needs to identify the target that can be lassoed and pulled back, and he does exactly that. So they managed to break his lassos and pickoffs with the Yules that Tusk bought. He just perfectly timed them so far. But when you're pushing high ground, it can be problematic because he has the vision advantage. So maybe that's why they're a little bit reluctant and they're just still satisfied with the full map control and farming. But your Aegis timer is ticking, and eventually you're gonna have to do something about it.
You know what else is ticking? Medusa's gold is ticking up towards a rapier next. That is the big game-changing item for Ford Game. They just need to buy enough time to complete that.
It's gonna be fun. Fun to see how fast she's gonna die with that rapier and give it to PA.
And then how big the crits are going to be from the Phantom Assassin. Yeah,
exactly. I'm just waiting to see PA with the rapier critting for 3,000. Let's go.
I don't think Ford are looking forward to that. And PSG, LGD, looking to get a little bit aggressive around the base. Maybe push in. You have to know, at this stage, yes, you're farming more, but you're just buying time for Ford Gaming to maybe get 1 or 2 items that could be crucial to their strategy.
Yeah, but your PA, she has a Bissell in her stash. She has 6k gold. She has a moon shard used. Like,
she's basically at critical mass right now. So you're either waiting to buy moon shards for everyone else, or you're going.
Give them like 15 more minutes, and maybe they'll get on that level.
Universe, nicely positioned, but will be revealed. They move in. I'm actually taking a lot of damage from Resolution now. Hits for about 350. Keeps them out. He has enough range with the Hurricane Pike just to zone them effectively. Name is out of mana, so he will just back away here.
Rezo is defending this really well, actually, on his own. It would be so much easier for LGD right now if they were the ones that had the bat to jump in, pick that Medusa off, and just drag her off the high ground, but they have the Tiny instead, and we've seen already what happens when the Tiny tries to go in and toss someone back. If he messes up, he's dead. He doesn't have a force to get himself out. They don't have a force in their whole team, actually, and that Aegis is gone.
Yeah,
now
Aegis is fine.
Now you have a chance, actually. If you are Forwards Gaming and you lasso PA, yeah, she does have that. She doesn't have boots, by the way. Yeah, you can take her down, but if you mess up, if she turns on that
Satanic, backfire. Yeah.
It will backfire so fast.
Also, credit to Chalice with his positioning. You saw it in the top lane. He's always scouting for this Batrider with the plasma fields, and he keeps finding him, which means Universe, he can't look for a jump in even if he wanted to. Actually, Chalice himself going with Shiva's Guard next. He knows he's got this raw HP. He needs the armor to match it because this Medusa, she's become quite formidable at this stage in the game.
Yeah, she hits hard. Definitely. He's gonna get that level 25. I wonder if the attack speed or the stable current damage. Because with that current damage, it's actually ridiculous. Did you see the radiance? Wow. With the,
oh god.
Stable, it's just built.
I mean, you can build into Octarine as well, and like the amount of lifesteal you get sustains you so much. It's pretty scary, actually. Also, Tiny is going towards the Satanic himself, by the way. Time for some lifesteal. We don't usually get to this stage where we see Tiny build into lifesteal.
They're going raw HP and just lifesteal, and they're preparing for this long haul, for long engagement in which they have to survive through the lasso in order to actually continue fighting. And if they do, they use that Satanic and then they win the fight. So I love the Satanic pickups, definitely.
I don't think it's going to be a long fight. Not if Arme has his way. Just picked up a DD.
Yeah. Just a casual. What is this? 500-ish damage? Easy.
Yep. Nice big crits on top of that. Smoke movement's going to be used. And they find a pick-off right now. They draw the line. They want to go bot. That's their entrance point. Try and look for the one kind of lingering on the side. Because 4 Gaming are centralized for the most. There's jump in. Avalanche. Toss going to be there. War's punch. They get rid of Death straight away. Buyback comes out. Sister Gaze locks him in place. Universe. He's actually dead. So Gaze already used. Arme taking a decent amount of damage, but not enough. And actually, Batrider, he has no buyback. They'll realize this pretty quickly. This is do or die for Ford Gaming right now. Question is, will LGD push their buttons? Will they pressure this?
Well, they have the BKBs. They have the refresher shard on the Razor. I believe they will. I don't see the reason to stop now. They're just gonna go in. There's no lasso.
Rezo, no Stone Gaze either. Crits are going to get pretty low. Avalanche toss back to Medusa in a bad place. Now the BKB activated. Abyssal on the spot. Medusa goes down. Essence is being used, but maybe too late. They just melt straight through Death Prophet. And it looks like Ford Gaming, they may be about to lose this. The buyback comes out from Resolution. He needs to make the play of his life, but he can't. Stunned on the spot. Locked in place. Is going to go down, trying to move away with the 4-star, but not quick enough as the Avalanche holds him in place. And GG gets called. We're going to a game 3.
Forward Gaming, they really played well. And they've improved so much since Moscow, honestly, on every single level. In Moscow, PSG was just styling over them. here, they're actually putting up a very solid fight, and this game could have went either way. But I have to say, I don't know if it's the lack of sleep or the fact that we're doing this in 5 a.m., but that toss back into Walrus Punch, it amused me so much. It was like something from some street fighting games from my childhood. That was so fun to watch.
Dota has transcended the strategic period. We've arrived in the Street Fighter period now. We're in the combos, guys.
Yeah, exactly. The combo was so nice. But shouldn't it deal more damage? You know, you comboed basically a toss into a punch. That should crit or something.
I mean, what you really want to see is like the Ags pick up on Tusk, right? The playback, toss.
Oh, and then they
back.
Toss back and forward.
You just juggle. Then you are definitely full fighter game. But fantastic from LGD, the way they kind of controlled that mid-game kind of transition. And Ford, I mean, we said it very early on. If you're in a game where the only lane going your way is the Batrider lane, it's very hard to make plays around him early on.
Exactly. And you know what? It's rude, to be honest, towards Universe, but that one lasso on Lich next to the Rosh Pit, I think it's just diminished their chances of winning this game so hard. Like, if he just saved that lasso, if they didn't even use that lasso, they can go into the pit, because you can't approach it as PSG. If you approach it from the high ground, this is where Bat is in his best form, right? You're approaching the pit from cliffs. He flies over the cliffs. He pulls you back into the pit. They pick off one target and they finish Rosh. That's what he's so good at, you know. And then you waste that lasso on Lich. You lose that fight on the shrine, and then you give away Aegis Cheese. And later on, they take full map control. PA gets satanic, and you just can't deal with her anymore. Even though like it did look at some points that they had the shot still. The lassos were still on point, but that one single lasso that wasn't really there, that wasn't really in the right mode, loses them the game. That's how I feel, honestly. I mean, it's oversimplified, obviously, but
it was a turning point. It's where things went from bad to worse. But that does mean we're going to get a third game between what is proving two formidable teams. We're going to go to a short break, and then we should be back with the deciding game between PSG.LGD and Ford Gaming.